Sci-Fi.
Hey everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie. I'm Wade.
I'm Willie.
This is a podcast about the paranormal and contemporary mythology. Join us on patreon.com/reallifesci-fi for access to 2 bonus episodes a week, video feeds, and more. And visit RealLifeSciFi.show for all of our links. Probably a lot of them are outdated. I don't know. Do you keep up with that at all? I got you mid-drink.
I haven't checked it in a few months, but I don't think there's anything new for a few months. I should double check.
All right. Well, once I get my GI throw and reaction channel going, I'll give you the fucking god damn it. I've been trying to edit these reaction videos and now I'm doing like multicam sequences and stuff just to try and change, because the whole thing with reaction videos is they get copyright strikes like immediately. So you have to kind of change the view like every 2 seconds. So I just like made a bunch of mock-ups of like us in different scenarios with the movie. Just like, here's our heads in bubbles, and here's one that's just us, and here's one where the movie's tiny. And it's a fucking pain in the ass, man. I wish I never would have started doing it. But anyway, let's welcome aboard the SSRLSF. Our good friend, filmmaker Greg Stees. What up, Greg?
Hey, how's it going? I have a question about the copyright strikes of those reaction videos.
Please.
So changing the angle somehow tricks them?
We're not sure yet
I
because
see.
because that's my latest plan, is to just change it so often that the movie video is changing sizes, and like
what I've seen people do is flip the image and then also stretch it a little bit.
I know, but I just
slow
I don't
it down
want
a little bit too.
If I could not do that, I aesthetically I don't want it to look like shit, you know.
But how do the biggest accounts get away with it? What's the difference?
Well, I think they're like grandfathered. Not to say that they can't get copyright strikes, but I think they're so big that YouTube is like, well, we can't shut this down, you know, like this is views.
Fucking A, yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we'll take it by storm, and I can give you all the insider shit. But like, I thought it was audio based, and it's really not.
Interesting. Yeah, that was my.
Which is
I thought it
good
was
to
audio
know.
too.
Yeah,
I know that they have that check, but like we're talking so much during it. I don't
it's
know.
also visual. It's so crazy. Yeah, I'm sure it also evolves.
I'm trying to crack it. I'll let you know if I do. Why you guys?
We're reacting to the green movie version of the movie.
yeah. Greg, you've been on before, right?
Yeah,
not too long ago.
This was my, I want to say third or fourth. Yeah,
oh,
maybe
wow.
fourth. I've been in my room before doing it. Yeah.
You went to the stage once.
And then
you went to Wade's place once, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to your place before. Or it might have been your place, Willie, actually.
It feels like so long ago. It was so long ago. You don't remember your WoW scale at all, do you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm usually, generally I'm a believer. I'm interested in it, kind of like hoping maybe rounding up in my heart to want these cool, supernatural.
What do you look into in your free time?
That's a good, yeah. Like, I mean, I'll admit it's not much in regards to the paranormal stuff, but I think probably the most would be Alien, that I've actually like investigated in quotes, but
typed into a search bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've also feel like had the most real world experience with that phenomena. That's curious. And I'm not sure exactly, like I've not seen an animal in the woods that I couldn't identify, but I've definitely seen lights in the sky and like weird materials on the side of the highway that may not exactly as they seem.
Do you have an interesting alien story?
I saw a couple months ago, I saw some lights in the sky. I sent it to Willie, like the photo, and I took a video of it, and it was like 3 points of light that were buzzing around, hard to know what it was really, but it was there for a long time and felt weird, or hadn't seen something like that before. That's the closest evidence, I guess, of something bizarre. Like I couldn't really, again, it's hard to track down much information about weird lights in, Los Angeles buzzing around the sky. So I never really found a promising solution to it, but
SpaceX. Do you think it was SpaceX?
Yeah, like maybe, like, I don't know, like, they always weather balloons and all that stuff. I'm not sure.
I think I saw SpaceX once, but I wasn't sure because I thought SpaceX was in a really good single line. And the thing that I saw was there were almost like 2 lines where there was one thing, and they were like spaced apart, but there was like a bunch of them.
Huh.
Oh, you guys.
Like smoke trail, like more like rocket launch.
They
type
were like
things, or
little
lights?
orbs of light.
Oh, interesting. Whoa.
Do you guys know who Matt Johnson is? I guess you would call him a filmmaker. Do you remember Nirvana the band, The Show?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
It's these two Canadians
Canadian,
who
yeah.
named their band Nirvana the band.
Oh, okay. No.
And they just had a web series, and then it was on Vice for like 2 seasons. Dude,
Cool.
look at Matt Johnson, because
Yeah.
he's directed a couple movies. He just did the Blackberry movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
But I just watched, it's called Operation Avalanche, and it's about the guys who faked the moon landing.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
But it's done in a way,
Gosh.
it's done in a way where it's just like these two kind of idiots just kind of like stumbling into it. They're like these CIA guys. It's fucking, I think that guy's great, man.
Cool.
Everybody check his shit out. But anyway, let's do the WoW scale.
Wow scale.
The WoW scale is a 5-question quiz. At the end of the quiz, I'll give you a score anywhere between 0 and 5. If you're more of a 0, you're more of a Wade. If you're more of a 5, you're more of a Willy. Are you ready to be Wade on the WoW scale?
Yeah, weigh me up, please. Thank you.
Okay, setting the scale, calibrating, calibrating. First question, 3-parter. Do you believe in aliens? If so, have they visited Earth? If so, have they visited Earth in the last 300 years?
Yes.
Okay. Ghosts.
I have not had experience. I guess it's not really about my personal experience, it's more belief, if I believe in it. I'm gonna say no.
You have a girlfriend, right?
I got married, actually. I have a wife.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Is she into psychics and stuff? Most girls are.
Yeah. You know, I do tarot every morning, actually.
Do you really?
I pull a card every morning.
What does that tell you?
To me, it's like a quote of the day calendar that I get to choose, where it just kind of inspires, like, oh, focuses my feeling or thought about.
Do you remember today's?
Yeah, today was 8 of Wands reversed. So it was a bunch of wands flying through the air. I'm trying to remember what I took away from that.
We just got a new Patreon, just like right now.
That's good.
Oh,
see,
snap.
that's that type of energy.
That's right. Thanks for the backwards 8s or whatever.
That's the
Wait,
one.
how are 8s backwards? They're the same.
How you pull it is reveals
if it's upside
about it. Because like wands can be good, but if it's reversed, it can be bad.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Ones?
Well, it's like if you got a rat, you want to turn him into a horse, you're gonna use a wand.
Oh, I still don't follow.
It's
I would call up I would call up Dr. Moreau if I wanted to change it. All right, Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
Whoa, no to ghosts, yes to Bigfoot.
I think there's something about ghosts like operate in beyond the physical realm. Not that I don't believe in, energies and soul type stuff, but I don't know. I guess something about it's more concrete feeling to me. Bigfoot, like I can picture it easier than a ghost, a vapor, and I've not had experience with a ghost.
Okay, whatever.
I heard something recently that I liked, where it was like, we don't have souls, souls have us.
Right.
Because this is the short experience in a soul's life. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I know, but that disproves ghosts.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. I was gonna ask, I'm like, do you believe in ghosts, Wade? No, right? Not at all.
No, because I believe that we are in a video game right now.
Yeah. But I believe
when we
energy.
Wake up, you're gonna be a woman. And Greg's gonna be like a dog or something that we hooked up, and we're gonna be like, "That was fun being people." I don't know.
But
what
I was gonna
we'll be weird.
I feel like Greg's answer should count as a yes, because you believe in the energy, just not the defined version of a ghost.
Sure. Yeah. If energy survives beyond the human body.
Well, you're putting your foot on the scale here. You're changing his answers.
Well, I mean, that's what I was wondering.
He was pretty quick at saying no.
What I believe, I don't believe in dead people or the spirits, but I believe in energy.
Okay, fine.
Like we had, I think I brought this up on the show before, but we live in our apartment we got because a guy died. So we like not inherited, but like when they were renting the apartment, they're like, hey, you got to tell you someone died.
Yeah.
But no clocks have fallen off the wall or anything.
No, but when the door kind of closes, our little wiener dog freaks out. And so I'm like, he's really freaked out, and it's just a door moving. So I'm like, is he appreciating or experiencing something beyond just the sound effect of like it's not that spooky.
Is it just a normal door?
Yeah, just like, and there's like a bunch of doors that just move. And it's not like they slam shut even, but just like moving a little bit, he's super freaked out by. And I'm like, what's that about?
He's a coward. All right, psychics.
My sort of feeling about psychics is people are perceptive, but not necessarily clairvoyant, I would say. I'm more like they're reading the room than.
But you pull a tarot card every morning.
Yeah, but I see that less as like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, meet
It's not your psychic ability. It's you going with the flow of the energy around you.
yeah, like less, I don't know, I guess it's also feeling less like it's psychics to me like Nostradamus. It's like very clear what the prediction is, whereas I feel like the tarot is kind of more sticking your finger in the
Ambiguous.
wind. Yeah,
Yeah. So you're gonna go no.
I'm gonna go no. Yeah, yeah.
Willie, you want to retcon that in any way?
Yeah.
All right, this is a new one.
Great.
We still ask about psychics, right?
No,
I gave you the wrong question. I was
Oh.
I had to flip my page over and I was going by
I
old
forgot.
shit.
Yeah, I forgot.
We
too.
don't ask about psychics, so that was stricken from the record.
That's a nice little
Now we
Patreon, like-
ask the Illuminati. Do you believe in the
Oh,
Illuminati?
fascinating. No. No.
Okay, good. I don't have to scratch out your in Illuminati. And now the multiverse.
That it's like real and you can like
Yeah, I mean,
get
you know,
into
it's like, do you think there are different kind of like universes? And I don't think you have to believe that we can cross over into
Okay,
them.
just that
like,
those
do
are
you
happening.
do you believe that they are there?
Yeah,
Hmm.
in the fractal version of existence, there could be other yous, but it's not that every version. Well, I don't know. I mean, the
Right.
question's ambiguous.
It spawned from the Mandela effect, you know.
Uh-huh. I don't really believe, I guess, at my core that multiverse is real, but I do love the idea of it.
Okay, we'll take the no
Okay, fair.
because you believe in aliens. You've given a lot.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
given
yeah.
a lot of the gut, right? We got to go with your gut.
Mine's more, I guess, like physical creatures. You know, these are all aliens and Bigfoots and stuff. It's just different weird creatures, basically, in my mind, versus a bunch of,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
different realms.
Oh, it goes to count. Okay.
Did
Even
we
though you
ever,
don't want to.
yeah, I mean medium. But like what about unicorns? Is that did they ever you guys might be this resource on this, but like did they ever debunk that or like what's that all about?
Is there an
Uh,
actual serious theory that unicorns are real?
Well, so like some people, you know how people say that, oh, dragons are just dinosaur bones.
Right, yeah, sure.
Some people think that the unicorn is a specific horse that did have a horn. I believe that there was a horse that had the horn, but abilities in any way, no. But
I see what you're saying, yeah.
when people say unicorn, do they just mean a magical one?
That's the question with a lot of these cryptids, right? It's like Chupacabra. Like, does he have powers or is he just a dude that like they haven't nailed down yet?
Right. And so, yeah, there are a lot of like weird
Yeah,
paranormal things associated with it.
sometimes it feels like it's metaphor trickling into like eyewitness accounts of like how crazy it was that this thing like ate all my sheep or whatever the situation is, and then it's oh this guy's got like venomous fangs and it's fun to extrapolate. I don't know. Who knows?
Right. And he can teleport or something.
Yeah, and it was went so fast to teleport. I know, yeah. It's
why do you ask about unicorns? I'm just curious.
because that falls into my Bigfoot and alien feelings. Like there you could picture like aliens being us or related to us-ish, you know, like they're kind of just freaked out versions.
But unicorn, you believe in unicorns?
No, I don't think I do. I don't know. It's curious. Like the dinosaur bone dragon thing makes sense to me. Like I could see a horse with a weird thing, and they're like, but it's just curious how that comes to be in our collective imaginations.
Right. Okay. Well, you're a 3 on the WoW scale.
Okay.
So you're kind of right in the middle there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the analysis.
Yeah, no problem. Willie, I'm gonna get a drink. Why don't you hit us with that topic?
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, the Las Vegas alien of 2023. According to the story, an alien craft crashed nearby a resident's house, and then soon after, shadowy and elusive creatures came up to their property. A hoax? Or could this be real? Find out tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi. This event that happened in Vegas last year has some fun evidence to it. The 911 call is out there that they placed. I'll play a couple videos, but looked like a big meteor. They got it on the police body cam footage. in Vegas, and they also have a ring camera where you see the meteor, what looks like a meteor coming, but like pretty big, and it looks like it lands pretty close. And then in this other ring camera, you see the bright flash, and then you see the earth shaking because of it. So this thing happened last year, April 30th of last year, and everyone has debunked it for themselves. I'm saying because it went viral, and everyone thinks it's more people think that it's fake. And so this family has been getting trashed all over the place, and
they're drunks. They're just out on the town getting trashed.
And people are saying like, oh, this is a meteor that landed outside of town. And I'm like, well, if you watch the footage, it looks like it could be very close. So they say they heard the crash, and then 40 minutes later, there were some noises. They walked out, and there were these creatures that were like 8 to 10 feet tall. They had a reference point. See that log right there is taller than that, or that pole. They thought that these things may have been using some kind of cloaking device. When he saw the creature, this guy Angel, he basically fell into sleep paralysis.
Wow.
Says he couldn't see it, couldn't move, and then all of a sudden they started seeing the shadows of them, like they were cloaking almost predator style. Let's watch a couple videos. Do you have any initial thoughts on this, Greg, while I load this up?
In my experience, going out to Vegas, that was what I was kind of touching on earlier about I drove past one time, it was weird foil, like metallic foil on the side of the road, which could be, I don't know, boat covers, who knows, but like it looked like a weird material. I don't know, I just feel like the Vegas energy, of course, Area 51 and all that, it's curious, makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Right. That's why I was like the Vegas alien of last year. Cause I'm like a Vegas alien, I mean, Roswell is, 100 miles away from Vegas, but I'm like,
right. So they're thinking that maybe the ship crashed and then they ejected or something, the creatures.
Did they? Yeah. Somehow came out and
do you have the 911 call?
Yeah. Let's go to that. No, this isn't it.
Streak through the heavens.
Let's watch
it. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful
big,
object on his
and
body
it looks like
cam.
it's going to land
At
close.
nearly the same time, a ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
8 News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of
it's a ranch house. I have a 2-story colonial.
You can tell by the Pontiac in the yard that they do care about appearances.
Do you think the alien? Well, I guess they're not saying the ship, or there wasn't something that crashed in their yard, but their yard would be maybe if you're flying down into a neighborhood. It seems like they have a big backyard that's just gravel.
Yeah, a lot of space for like. I don't think the craft was sitting there in that circle spot. So this happened. Police showed up, and there's the body cam footage of the police showing up, and they get kind of scared too. They're like, "I'm only here because my partner said he saw something crash. He saw the thing." A few days later, these police showed up and they installed cameras, and this division was run by Homeland Security that work with Vegas. So they put up these cameras going like, well, this is just in case people bother you. And at this point, the story hadn't gone viral yet. And then they took the cameras down before it went viral. But they were talking about some other paranormal things that happened at their house, like this cross was floating off the wall. Because of these other stories, people are like, oh, these guys are just trying to get attention. They've got it and keeping it. But here's him talking about the incident.
I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. And I know some people are not going to believe this, but so this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard. At this point, I'm only with my brother, and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other, and we were scared. But when the impact happened, it was sort of like a shock wave,
What does he keep reaching
like an
for?
out of body
bothering me.
experience.
I don't
to
know. That's
say,
what a lot
when
of
I
people are
tried to look at
complaining
the
about.
object,
All the comments are.
it was all
Can't you just
blurry,
tell a
not my
story?
vision, but only
It
the
feels like he's
backyard
reading a
area.
little bit too, right? Like off a teleprompter.
Oh, he's
And I
scrolling.
hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds
Good
later,
call.
the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the police officer's body cam, and here's the object I'm referring to, the light.
So this is cool. This cop sees. I mean, look, it's landing in the neighborhood right there. You know,
What?
Here's a
Hang on,
ring
pause
camera video.
that
You can
is
hear the bang.
that's a cop just in another part of Vegas.
Oh, okay. So he's not responding to this.
No, that was just a body cam footage capturing the meteor, what could the craft, whatever, crash landing in Vegas.
Got it.
This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video. So when that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall, very thin. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard, and he saw the same creature I saw.
Where's
He
the
told me
brother?
to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out, me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good on camera, but it's there. Here's the video.
So there's something back here, and then there's something.
Moments after the video,
In the
me and my brother
fence.
went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me, and he told me shakingly, "Look behind the forklift." So I look. Keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray greenish color, and when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze, like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind I'm staring at him, and I look at his whole body, and he has a
We're
weird
seeing a
looking
beautiful
feet and
girl.
a big face and eyes. And you see a big mouth. I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I could start moving again, and I start running towards the house. That's when I call 911, and here's the 911 call.
You can't see anything in that video that he's showing. It's like
No. And
the-
there's another. That's not the one that was released
All right,
either. And
all
then
right.
so somebody tried to analyze this. This person was someone who does recreations for like court.
Hmm.
So this guy was trying
Wow.
to show that like, there actually is
interesting.
something there. Here, I'll
Yeah.
I'll play the setup too.
Vegas, and he applied his technology, tried to debunk it. Here he is on his YouTube channel, Crime Scene, discussing what he calls the entity in the family's backyard.
We can take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case, we can definitively say, to a degree of scientific
See
certainty,
this shadow thing
that
right here?
this entity, this thing in the video is there in the physical reality in which the Kenmore family is also there. Like, this is so critical because you can.
So right now, these guys are
Interesting.
all focusing on the creature behind the tractor over here.
Right.
So there's two in this one. There's one here, and then there's one here that walks up to them. They get spooked by. I think they're focusing on this one, and then this one kind of spooks them. They don't fully see it, and they take off running. So the video is a little confusing. And
Clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the
Come
left
on,
side of the
that's
screen.
talking.
And clearly it is behind there. So this isn't just like a head floating in space. This is a head of that is somehow does not have full opacity. That the opacity of the head of the shadow is only at about 33% opacity versus a normal shadow, which would be at 100% opacity, or an object in the screen, which is at 100%. And this isn't anything that you did. It's just what you were able to determine that this shadow being, or this being in the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow or smoky filter or cloaking technique, is not only cloaking itself from the people there, but cloaking itself from the camera itself, in that it's minimizing our ability to identify pixels inside of that shadow.
So there's that, and that's all the stuff we're gonna watch.
How much do you think that guy gets paid to do that? To analyze the video and like guess where the alien is? That's such an interesting
Right,
job.
for sure. And then for this story, like I don't think they paid him. I think this was his publicity for what he does.
Oh, I see. He's doing it for the love of the game. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's an effective sales tool. It's impressive. He is able to articulate the shadow movement. I didn't see that section of the video.
Yeah, and that's a video I couldn't find. I tried finding it, and you know, everyone's got there's a million videos of like, oh, I think it looks pretty cool without showing that. I'm like, okay, great.
I don't know. He just didn't seem impartial. He's talking about like, oh, that it's a cloaking device or something. Like,
yeah, he was bringing
that's
analyze
what was
the fucking video.
Weird to me too, is that like when you see someone that believes, their mind has already shifted into that too, and I'm like, because somebody else talked about that video and was like, well, there's so many light sources that could there be multiple shadows creating that thing? And the answer is yes, other than the one coming from behind the fence, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like the way that he's reading, just psychologically, that he's reading off a script is really interesting. Angel, when he's recounting his experience, it's hard to gauge how authentic it is just because he's like.
And at this point, he didn't make that video until like it went viral, and like most of the comments are just racist.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's kind of
and so it's kind of like, this is what happened. Most of you probably don't believe it, but this is me telling you what happened.
Okay, it's a little bit like a notes app type of.
Yeah. I just don't understand. If they were selling books or something, sure, then be racist. I get it. But if they're just showing the video and saying what happened, it's like, and they don't have an angle. Why would you trash someone like
and
that?
They also stopped answering the door to the news station because they were getting trashed so hard on the videos. You've got 3 different cameras showing this thing, right? And so there was a guy from this meteor center that was like, oh, there's no way it's a craft, but it did get reported by 3 different states that saw it: California, Nevada, and Utah. I've seen tons of meteors. I saw a couple yesterday because there's a meteor shower. I've never seen one that looked like it was landing. That looked like it hit in that area, and that, you know, that one with the sound, the camera and the ground did not shake, but you could hear the sound, and of course that sounded a little fake. But Ring cameras aren't great.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mostly when I see these things, it's all about what's the angle, right? And like I don't see an angle for them.
Yeah, especially since they stopped talking to the news. And then
what's the recent, because this is over a year ago, has there been any updates at all?
No, just people trying to analyze it, but it just kind of got washed away so quickly. And I was like, because the meteor and because it was so close to that, it's basically just some people's account of.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, like the meteor, it's impossible to know how close it was, right? Because we have no idea how big it was or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then he never said like how much time had passed between the meteor and seeing the guys.
Yeah, I thought he was saying it was more instant, but that was confusing me.
From what I picked up on from the body camera footage, I believe that this is accurate. Between the body camera footage of the meteor, whatever, and the 911 call was 40 minutes.
Interesting.
And so, you know, debunkers are like, oh, the meteor got everybody thinking about aliens. That's why they're all.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm like,
I don't know. If you're predispositioned to think about that, like if I see a meteor, I don't think that it's a UFO. I think it's a meteor.
I don't remember. He didn't say they saw it. They just heard the crash, right? They just heard the boom.
Mm-hmm. I think they saw the light or something.
Okay, because I saw a boom the other night. And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's the Dodgers. They just won."
Right.
Yeah, in LA, it's always fireworks. I mean, if they want to like crash land anywhere, they should land here.
Mm-hmm.
Another stupid movie. Why don't they just go to Canada?
No, we need that. We need the industry to stay here. We need tax breaks. Listen, the shadow guy.
Yeah, what do you think of? I know that they have it in their head that there was a cloaking device, but it's interesting to think that there could be a cloaking device, especially since he felt like he, froze and couldn't see him. And
yeah, totally.
My thoughts with that is it's the way I'm thinking more recently is a dimensional thing where it's like we just don't have the ability to see them, right? Like because we don't see in that dimension or whatever.
Sure.
But these guys are talking about seeing. He's saying that it's green and he's got big eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
like,
so-
are aliens normally tall? I thought they were
I was
short.
gonna say that too. Yeah.
they're tall grays and there's tall insectoids.
I know, but okay.
I know,
like,
dude. I know.
But that's just lore, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
with sightings of these guys with big eyes and stuff. Well, geez, I don't even know my question because
I kind of see what you're getting at. It's like if you were gonna fake it, wouldn't you just say there's small little alien guys that like look like the alien jerky logo? You know, it's
Yeah.
like the classic alien, and then
right, the
this
skateboard
is
alien.
like skateboard alien. This is like more Slender Man imagery that's coming into it.
And that video that they showed with the smoky thing behind the fence, like he didn't talk about that in his video. So it was kind of like, I don't think they noticed that smoky thing until later.
I'm upset that they didn't like show more than 10 frames in that video because he's headed toward them. Like what
Yeah.
happens after that,
So they kind of get spooked and take off running, but they're focusing on the creature behind the tractor. And there is somewhere in these videos you can see the same thing, kind of a smoke outline behind the tractor. But because they also describe what they look like, I'm like, how did the cloaking? My initial thought of saying it's cloaking is like, oh, that sounds like BS. But then they describe what it looks like and describe it looking like smoke. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting because when a lot of the UFOs that I see, I agree. It's like I feel like
well,
what we're seeing.
if we're getting into sci-fi, it's really easy to explain. Like during the crash, one of their cloaking things failed and one didn't.
I feel like a lot of the UFOs that we see, they're not lit up because they have lights on them. They're lit up because whatever energy is powering them is coming through into our dimension. So I'm like, yeah, I believe that if there is something that they probably can operate on a different plane, and that radio station.
All I'm really getting out of this is if you believe them and you believe these are aliens, then it's like, all right, cool, because they didn't kill them. There was like no threat, right?
Yeah.
That guy was walking around right next to him.
Like what, they were waiting for their AAA to get their craft.
That's my question. If you're an alien, are you aware about Area 51? Like, would you want to stay away from the Southwest, or is it enticing? Are you trying to break your buddy out? Why go back to Vegas? Isn't that treacherous? Like, they know that it's like kind of like alien jail there a little bit.
They got the ads for Vegas, and they're like, if it stays in Vegas, it stays there. So we can just keep going. Like, they don't understand. Well, what would that even be? Subtext? I don't know.
Like,
metaphor?
Yeah, they don't get it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that so there may have been a crash and then they came out. What could they have been looking for something? Or why would you leave your craft if you weren't fixing it?
But here's the thing. If you believe all of this stuff, which you do, I don't think they were trying to land. I think they
no,
it was
for sure.
It was like a malfunction, and then I don't know why they would end up in that guy's backyard.
I think it's an ejector seat sort of situation. Like, they jump out of the craft as it's coming down and then use their cloaking device to get to that backyard.
But then, like, did they ever even look for a meteor or anything to find like where that thing went down?
It's a great question.
No, nobody's turned up anything. And if it was a meteor, it'd be pretty easy to find. You between where using the body camera footage and looking at where they think it might be, I feel like You know, those meteorite hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked the meteorite guy was like, you know, that if this is a meteor, and he says it was, you know, he's like, this thing could have been as big as a car because of how it lit up. And you know, once you get the green and the ionization, it's
Right.
like it's a pretty big thing.
So it would have an impact. There would be residuals from it, right? I mean, like, even if
Yeah.
it disintegrated, there would be a crater or something.
For sure.
Which makes you think, like, if you're on the conspiracy side of things, it makes you think like, well, yeah, it was a UFO, and the government went out and fucking wrapped it up and took it back to their labs and stuff.
Yeah, it is weird that the Homeland Security camera went up because
Yeah.
and then went away. Like what?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, does that mean that they got something, and they're but if they got something, they would leave it up, right?
Yeah, because it's like that whatever those things were, they're not going to come back to that house. It's not like they befriended
Right.
them and had a trust relationship or anything, you know.
But if you saw aliens on a camera, you wouldn't take those cameras down, right? I mean, they don't need those cameras. It's not like they're on a budget.
It seems you could leave it there for a while. Yeah. It'd be
How-
less work to move it, you know, just leave it there.
Yeah. How long were the cameras up?
There's also undercover police officers around. Did you see that?
Yeah, I forgot the details of it.
Yeah, there's like that were hanging out around after.
So the cameras went up 2 weeks after the incident, so mid-May, and then they were pulled out May 24th. So like maybe like a
Weird.
week they were up.
That's so weird how quickly. Yeah.
It almost feels like they didn't get anything, and they're like, well, fucking 2 weeks was too late. I mean, like, who's gonna
Come back.
what homeless person is around for, I'm sorry, unhoused?
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to see what kind of traffic they're getting traction. Like if this were a real thing, it's like, okay, who's going to find out about this? Who's going to, I don't know. Why?
But don't you think this is comforting overall? Like, if you believe the whole thing, it was an alien spaceship and they ejected and they wound up in this guy's backyard and they didn't hurt anyone. All they did was just like paralyze the dude for long enough for the alien to get away. He never even finished that story though. Like, what happened after he was sleep paralysis?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, was the alien still there, or was it just gone?
They got spooked,
but-
ran into the house. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, the whole point is like, and let's say that the government, knows about it or whatever. I'm getting really comfortable with the deep state. I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe they got it under control. Like, maybe this is fine. Like, do I need to know about aliens?
Right.
If aliens are walking around right now, but I can't see them, what's the point of me knowing about them?
Yeah, because here's my fear, right? Is that like, okay, people always talk about how, oh, it's going to change. There's going to be paradigm shifts in belief and it's going to fuck things up. Sure. That may happen when we announce that aliens are real. But what happens when you find out there's multiple alien races? You know, that makes it worse because it's like, wait. Is it, are there factions? Did we join sides? Is there
Interesting?
Even then, I'm just like, if we chose, we chose. Like, if they have like space politics happening, I don't know. I guess maybe outline your platform, but other than that, like, how am I going to choose a side and be like,
I know,
oh,
right?
man, I can't believe we sided with these guys. They like slavery. Like, you know what I mean?
Picture
Like,
the right and left wing people joining different alien sides. And I'm like, what?
yeah,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to sell vitamin water or whatever the fuck.
We'll give you these gold gloves. Whatever.
Yeah, these gold gloves will keep you safe from the bad aliens. But then you don't know. Maybe the gold gloves are just like giving the aliens that we're with more information about you.
Biometrics.
Yeah, biometrics. Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Exactly. We're not ready for that, dude. We can't even choose a president. So
It is
like,
yeah, better less said, you know. They're like,
and also, how depressing would these reports be? Oh, this one got really excited when Friends came on. And that's it. It's the only time.
But where are you guys at? I mean, I think I know where Willie's at, but like, where are you at with fuck, Greg? What did you just say? Because that was the impetus of this question.
Oh, the biometrics of the
No,
implants?
after that.
They're keeping us distracted.
Yeah, that whole thing. So
Yeah.
like, do you guys, if aliens are walking around, like, do you want to? I know Willie does, but like, do you want to know about it, or is it more like ostrich, like
Yeah, it's
fucking?
such a good question. Well, to
What do
your
you
point,
What do
it's
you
like
think?
it's like if to know about all their drama, like, I don't know
Yeah.
if I need that to just be
Right.
worrying about intergalactic, the troubles, but in across galaxies and stuff like that. Seems like a lot. And it's also like, what are we gonna do? The irony is probably it's going on and we couldn't get up to, get a spacecraft anywhere close to it anyway.
What would you do though, personally? Like, if tomorrow they're like, all right, listen, aliens exist, and I don't even want to like say more about this sort of
Mhm.
like hypothesis.
Right, just like they announced that.
What would happen in your brain? Like, what would happen to you?
It's a great question. It's an exciting feeling that you're not alone. I've always hoped that they would find evidence of life, and it'd be so interesting. It always felt like it would be ancient life of just that there was other life in the solar system, I guess, with Mars and all that exploration. But to have it actually be a intelligent creature that's a contemporary, it seems exciting to me. There just seems like there's a lot to learn about a whole other being that has to do with gravity and the same types of reality stuff that we work through.
Yeah, I would make the first movie that stars an alien.
Oh, there you go. Right.
No,
There's no sagging.
I definitely, I know they don't need to worry about the union rules.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. Yeah.
I definitely believe that there are different races. I think that I'm definitely clouded with a lot of fake things, but I feel like if they ever do announce it, I may second guess it, like, oh, what? Like, you're trying to tell us this is real now after hiding it?
Interesting. Right. Yeah. The motivation of when,
Like,
if
what are
they
you
ever
trying to
announce.
distract us from now? And you're finally
Right.
saying this is real.
Interesting. Yeah.
Take that out of it though, just for academics.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, if it were real, and they're like, yeah, there are aliens, and like, all we can say is, like, don't worry about it. Like, I feel like that's okay. Let's say the aliens do exist and they are here and the government knows about them. I think I'm gonna give these idiots in DC a little bit of credit and just say that, like, maybe they don't tell anybody because it's a fucking can of worms.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You got one of each of the aliens. They don't get along, or just
Even if it's not that, even if it's we've only met one race of aliens and they're just chill and they're fine and like they won't hurt you, like they walk through this guy's backyard, it's fine. So many people would then like lose their mind. Like, there's no way to explain that, right? If you're like, think of it like a hamster or something. Like, hamsters are around, they don't affect us at all. People wouldn't accept that,
Picture if they announced that Bigfoot was real. I feel like tons of people would take their rifles to the mountains.
Yeah, sure. Yes, right.
Well, I'm going to go get the first one. If it's real, I'm going to go get it.
100%. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
But if it's aliens and you can't see them, you can only
I
see
feel
them.
like I would try to communicate at this point and be like, well, if they're real, there probably is some kind of telepathic communication.
Yeah, but you're already doing that.
I know. I'm not fully on board, but yeah, I'm definitely reaching out.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, hey, let's get on their team, Like, I'm sure there's something we come to some agreement on.
It's like, look, I don't like the Republicans or the Democrats.
Yeah. Let's start a new land.
Oh, we are Republicans. We don't like you. We identify with elephants.
That's a trip too. Yeah, they're just here. We're like, oh, they're here to meet us, and they're just trying to get to the elephant.
Yeah, I will say, I really fucking was annoyed, even as a kid, the Star Trek story of like this alien race is trying to talk to whales, and all the whales are dead. So we're shorting out the world because of it. So we got to go get some from the past and bring them to the future. And I'm like, I understand.
That's the plot of that movie.
Yeah. So it's kind of
Wow.
cool,
Yeah.
but it's also a big eye roll.
Star Trek can
just
time
going,
travel?
Yeah.
Yeah, they learn how
Yeah.
to in one
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then what's the point of the rest of it?
I know,
Just
dude. It's like,
just
why
time
don't you fix
travel
everything
back.
else?
Yeah.
And those whales you took from the past, what did they fuck up?
Right.
I don't believe in the butterfly effect. I think it's chill, man. Earth's pretty chill. If one, yeah, it just kind of goes back to whatever. Not like these Marvel movies where the timeline's all out of flux. Greg, what do you think? Was that an alien?
I don't know. It's the video to me wasn't helpful. Like it gives me more questions. It just seems.
Well, you looked some stuff up. What were you coming in with?
I mean, I saw there was a follow up on it was like News Nation. So I don't know about that.
Yeah,
news
and
source,
what
but
the fuck is News Nation?
I don't know,
right?
but that's the other thing that I'm trusting some reporter from News Nation. Like I don't know.
Right.
I'll just say these days, like video, it's hard to trust in the analysts of it all and this and that. Like even if it was really convincing, it's hard to say for sure if you have something.
Right, and it was cool that that news station, the other one, ABC, whatever, did a story on it. But George Knapp, he's the one that interviewed Bob Lazar originally. Like he's always been connected to you. So it's cool that like they're open to it and they put it out there because most news stations don't.
Right.
So they're open to it, but they're also looking for that too. And I appreciate when it makes it into the news, but it also skews it before I skew it.
Yeah. The fact that they had other weird stuff with the cross feels self-promotion y.
Totally. That's what I was gonna think.
I know
Like,
it sucks that, just sucks.
Yeah, why did you have to say that? Because you just lost credibility.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
And so here's a weird thing too.
That's why
Just
I was
a little,
going like, well, why lie? Because if you're not making any money.
Yeah.
A little stupid side thing that always bugs me. There's so many alien encounters that have a religious aspect to it where they're like either saying that your gods are real or that they're not. And I'm just like, why is there any conversation of religion going on? And it makes me go, oh, well, then maybe our brain is filling in blanks and it's not a real legitimate communication.
Oh, interesting. It's like we're converting it to language and imagery that we can understand.
Yeah, or that they've known us for so long that maybe, and I don't lean into this, but maybe they created the religion to try to
right, to help
distract us.
Yeah.
In the same way our politicians are distracting us, just like
and it's like it would be such a crazy thing to get like monkeys to know that there's other, space monkeys and stuff. But if you slowly give a little kernel of there's people in the sky and other things we don't understand, you'd be open to it over thousands of years. You could plant different huge ideas and then come back in a couple thousand years and see how they've taken root and if they're ready to reveal themselves, perhaps.
Yeah, knowing us, we would spin off in the wrong direction. They would come back and be like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in the same vein, when I see someone have a near-death experience and they talk about seeing heaven, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the same point, right? Like your brain is filling in things that make sense to you.
Sure.
We need the alien version of the Chinese transcriber or translator.
Mm-hmm.
You know how all those Japanese games, or anytime there's a movie that goes to Japan, like the title is completely nonsensical when you look at the exact translation. Like
Electrical Man with hammer.
What? Like if it's these guys talking to us telepathically, but we just don't get it. It's like
we're too dumb.
We're saying it. Why aren't they getting it? Well, let's install a weird mythological tome that can help I mean, god damn.
They don't
Fucking long
believe
con,
in
man.
any powers, man. So let's just make up a god and let's tell them that that's the thing they're supposed to pay
But it's
attention to.
it's also very rude to just show up on a new planet and be like, your religion is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they're
you
gonna get
can't-
canceled. They'll be canceled eventually when we
Yeah.
when we find out about them. You can't do that. It's so rude. It's horrible.
So rude, dude. Like, we're entitled to our beliefs, okay?
Yeah.
As wrong as they may be. We should wrap it up, yeah?
I will say that if and when they do announce that aliens are real, it may make me try to communicate more with animals on this planet.
Yeah.
You know, just like the way that we've discounted them as being intelligent at all. I was reading something recently where they say plants can actually see you, and I'm like, oh, that's
wow. Cool.
you know, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
well, Willie, we've been doing this for 10 years. You're not already doing that? I treat my cat like it's a person. I treat my plants like they're cats.
I do when I think about it, you know, like I watered some plants today and talked to them.
I give my plants little kisses and I go, thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't have any, so I'm like talking to someone else's partner.
Oh yeah, you can't be. You got to be more formal about it, I guess.
Hey, here's one. I know she probably gave you a drink already, but here's one for me.
Thank you for existing.
It is.
I
Cool
don't want to cross
think...
any lines.
It'll be cool when we have translations for the Rosetta Stone for plants and animals, and we will be able to talk to squirrels and this and that. I think that'd be awesome.
It's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be a nightmare because think of all the things they find offensive, and now we're gonna fold that into our ethics.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Jeez, I can't keep up.
I know. I do like when a dog is getting crazy, another dog's like, "Fucking knock it off!" And then they're cool.
Or
that
when
doesn't
cats
work
are
with
fighting,
moose.
and then the dog comes over and like breaks it up. I love that.
Yeah, I try that sometimes with moose. I'm like, that doesn't work. It just escalates him. So like, don't when he's yelling, don't yell at him.
Greg, any kind of final thoughts before we go?
No,
and plugs too. Just the floor is yours, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am definitely curious about the Vegas aliens. I think we should keep our eyes to the skies, because there's a lot of weird occurrences going on. Even just that meteor was insane, crashed down. If it was just that, it was beautiful. You can find me on Instagram. I'm right there. I'm right there. Greg Stees.
You know, I do this thing where I always try to add something at the end after I've already added stuff, but I'm just like, you know what? Maybe we should try to come up with what to do if you do experience something real, because they didn't get enough. They've made some missteps that made us not even believe them. So if it was real, it's like, too bad you already fucked up.
Getting the evidence quick, you're saying, like,
yeah, some kind of protocol of, if you're experiencing something paranormal, get the best footage you can, fucking shut up. Don't sell a book until a couple years later.
I feel like we're going to be in the zone now more than ever. Speaking of Instagram, it just feeds, I have a wiener dog, so it feeds me all these crazy videos of wiener dogs and other animals and like the most cute America's home videos you've ever seen. And it's just like, oh, it's crazy. We're always shooting video now. Great. You know, and I get a lot of cute animal content, which I'm grateful for. And I thank Mark
That's
Zuckerberg
the whole
for.
thing. I think like that's kind of the whole thing with like the aliens don't exist, is it's like everyone is shooting video
You could have
at any moment around any area. So like, why isn't there more footage of this stuff? You know,
my only defense to that is I've never seen a good picture of the moon from somebody's phone.
Yeah.
And the moon's bright and big.
Yeah. I mean, sky stuff, whatever. I just mean, you could say Bigfoot.
Actual encounters. Yeah, for sure.
It's exciting though. I think the opportunity is there. It's like up to us now, us citizen sci-fiers, to get out there with our phones. And what do you say? Just go around and try to get footage. What do you want us to do? Try to get you some shots?
Who, me?
Yeah, is that your dream? Let's crack something on the show. Let's open up, like let's get everyone involved. If you send in your best, we have a week, I guess. We'll check back in.
GoPro, though it's HD, the chip is too small, so GoPro's not worth nothing.
15S or 15.
Yeah, you got to have a decent, bigger.
Yeah,
I like the Sony. What is it? S2? I don't know.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Greg, thanks for being here.
Hell yeah, thank you.
We're gonna continue. Are you gonna stick around for the
Yeah.
bonus?
Great. Yes.
Okay. We're gonna continue this conversation on Patreon, patreon.com/RealLifeSciFi. And check out Greg Stees' Instagram. He's got a wiener dog pictures, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Come see some. Click
See
around.
this coward dog who's afraid of doors.
I will say also if you're into funny comedy and film, like go look at everything Greg has made because it's all fucking awesome. And
Thank you.
All things considered, I really feel like you're gonna have a couple movies coming out here soon too. And he had a great part in our movie too. Like,
yeah, super. That was such a blast.
Yeah, are we ever gonna finish it?
We have to.
Okay, get on it. I've done my part.
I know.
I gotta put him on record. That's the only thing. I'm sorry, Greg, that you had to watch that.
It's great. No, I'm super excited for the film. It was really awesome. It felt like summer camp. It was so fun to be a part of. And then I thought by the end of the shoot, I was like, I think I have a drinking problem. I feel like I'm like drinking all the time. And I was like, oh no, just for the past 2 weeks, I've been going over to Savant's house and like pretending to be drinking the whole time, solo cups. And my mind was stuck in this like weird dream of like, I've been partying nonstop. I need to like look into my life. It's like, no, just night shoots at a party house.
All right. Well, thanks again. And thanks everyone for listening. And remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Real Life Sci-Fi.